Imagine a spiritual path brave enough to question one of the greatest ideas humanity has ever created, the belief in an all-powerful creator God. That path is Buddhism. But instead of searching for answers in the distant heavens, Buddhism gently turns our attention inward toward the place where our own mind and heart hold the key to awakening. One of the most remarkable things about Buddhism is that it does not ask you to believe immediately. The Buddha encouraged people to question, reflect, and test his teachings for themselves. On this spiritual journey, doubt is not a mistake, it is a natural and important part of discovering truth. Throughout his life, many people asked the Buddha profound questions. Who created the universe? Is there a God who controls everything? Yet instead of giving complex explanations, the Buddha often remained silent. Not because he lacked an answer, but because he understood something deeper. Speculation about these questions does not help human beings overcome suffering. He once compared it to a man struck by a poisoned arrow who refuses treatment until he knows every detail about the arrow who shot it, what wood the bow was made from, and from which direction it came. By the time he receives those answers, the poison may have already taken his life. For this reason, Buddhism does not focus on proving or denying the existence of God. Instead, it is often described as non-theistic, meaning the path to liberation does not depend on a creator deity. In many Buddhist traditions, gods and heavenly realms are still mentioned, but they are not seen as rulers who control human destiny. Rather, they often represent symbolic qualities: wisdom, compassion, patience, and courage. The greatest difference in Buddhism lies in one powerful message: awakening lies within you. The Buddha taught that peace and freedom are not gifts granted from the sky. They are built through understanding and transforming the mind. That is why one of his most famous teachings is, "Be a lamp unto yourself." To understand how Buddhism views the world, we need to explore three of its core teachings: karma, rebirth, and non-self. Karma simply means that every thought, word, and action creates consequences. There is no divine judge keeping score of our lives. Instead, our actions themselves shape our future. This leads to the idea of rebirth, where patterns of actions and tendencies continue across lifetimes. But Buddhism does not describe this as an eternal soul moving from one body to another. Instead, it is more like a flame lighting another candle. The flame continues, but it is not exactly the same flame. Then we arrive at one of the most profound ideas in Buddhist philosophy: non-self. According to the Buddha, what we call I is not a fixed, permanent entity. It is more like a flowing river. Our thoughts, emotions, and even our physical body are constantly changing from moment to moment. Rather than being frightening, this insight is meant to bring hope. Because if there is no permanent self, then nothing about us is completely fixed. We always have the capacity to change, grow, and transform. Another unique feature of Buddhism is that it places direct experience above belief. In the famous Kalama Sutta, the Buddha advised people not to accept something simply because it is tradition, written in scripture, or spoken by a respected teacher. Instead, he encouraged them to observe, investigate, and verify the truth through their own experience. So when we look at the entire path, we see that Buddhism is not trying to reject God or challenge anyone's faith. It simply offers a different perspective, a path centered on awareness, compassion, and deep understanding of the mind. And perhaps the most profound message of Buddhism is this: the answers we search for are not hidden somewhere in the distant heavens. They are quietly present within our own consciousness, waiting to be discovered.